In this lecture, we'll make sure that each individual chunk is spawning either 0, 1, or 2 fences, but never occupying the same lane. Now that we have properly each chunk generating exactly 1 fence per chunk, always and forever in each individual lane, just on a randomized sort of way, let's hop back into our chunk class and then sometimes generate more than 1. Let's go ahead and start with just instantiating more than 1 on some sort of frequency. I know I either want to spawn 0, 1, or 2. Now, later on, we can maybe change the values to be a little bit more dynamic, depending on properly balancing the game. But for now, let's just have each be 1/3 chance. In other words, we can create an int, we'll just call it fences to spawn, and we'll just set that equal to random.range in between 0, 1, or 2. So that means we need to actually pass through 0 through 3 because once again, 3 being exclusive in random.range, meaning fences to spawn will either always be 0, 1, or 2. And we can wrap this code block here, all these 3 lines, in a for loop. So let's write a for loop and just create a condition here in the middle. As long as I is less than fences to spawn, then we'll just run this code block that many times. So we can just shift this logic up here inside of our for loop. But of course, you can immediately see the problem here. We don't have any sort of condition stopping us from spawning in the same lane twice. Now, we're going to go about this in one of probably a dozen or so different ways that I can think of, but I think the easiest way to get our head wrapped around it to start is at the very top of spawn fence, we can actually just define another list of available lanes. So even just before fences to spawn, let's do that. Let's create a list of ints that's going to store a value of 0, 1, or 2, and it can actually just hold which lanes are available. So let's do that. Let's create a list of ints that we'll just call available lanes. And we'll initialize that to a list of actually 0, 1, and 2. So initializing this list, we'll create 0, 1, and 2 inside of this list. That way, each individual time we go through our for loop and we instantiate a new fence at a specific lane, at a specific random lane index, we can actually just go in and remove one of these available lanes from what is currently available. So the next time we actually go through that for loop and iterate over it, we can only choose one of the ints from our available lanes. So let's do some refactoring down below. Instead of choosing a random lane index in between 0 to lanes.length, let's actually use this available lanes.count, since this list will now be dynamic and be removing 0, 1, or 2. So available lanes.count. That way on the next line, we can actually have a new selected integer that we can just call selected lane, and we can set that equal to the available lanes at the random lane index that we choose. But this way, random lane index will actually only be one of these available lanes. Each individual time we go through this for loop, we can actually go into available lanes and use remove at, and then remove our random lane index. Remove at is actually going to specifically go through and remove the exact element at the specific index inside of that list. For example, let's just say the first time that we go through this for loop, it chooses 1 in our random lane index. It will then go into available lanes.remove at and remove the first element in this available lanes, meaning that it's going to go into the available lanes list and remove the 1 index from available lanes, meaning this middle one here, number 1. So when we're creating our new vector 3, we don't actually want to use lanes random lane index. We want to replace this with our int selected lane. Let's hop back into Unity and give this a try. Cool, we now have some lanes properly sometimes instantiating 0 fences, sometimes 1 fence, and sometimes 2 fences based on the available lanes that actually exist. Let's hop back into our chunk class and just have a brief conversation about some fail-safe conditions. I'm noticing this magic number here. I think we can actually just quickly replace this. We know there's only ever going to be 3 lanes, so let's actually just use lanes.length. Same thing, always returning a number of 0, 1, or 2, but just getting rid of that magic number. But let's say if for whatever reason we wanted to spawn 10 fences. And we actually tried to iterate over this loop 10 times. Now, I'd probably recommend not actually trying this on your computer, maybe just watch along for just a second. But let's actually have a think if this is actually going to create an infinite loop or crash Unity, or if it's just going to cause some sort of error. It's going to try to go through this for loop and iterate over this code block 10 times. Well, the first 3 times it actually goes through this for loop, everything is going to execute just fine. Each individual time it goes through this for loop, it's going to remove one of these 3 available lanes from our available lanes list. Well, the 4th time it actually tries to iterate over this code block, there's not going to be any more available lanes to choose from. The 4th time we actually try to iterate over this for loop, it's going to try to choose a random lane index. And it's going to choose in between a range of 0 to 0 because available lanes.count will be 0 the 4th time we iterate over this block, meaning that it's actually going to return what? Well, it's just going to return 0. Well, now we have a bit of an issue because when we go into selected lane and actually choose out of our available lanes and try to pass through 0 for our random lane index, it's going to go into available lanes and look for element 0, which is going to not exist. And it's going to just create some sort of error. Let's actually just go try that out back in Unity. Maybe just watching along for a second and not necessarily following, just in case I accidentally crash our project. Okay, working as intended, each individual chunk is spawning in 3 different fences, but we actually just have an out of range exception, meaning the index was out of range, just like we chatted about. So not actually creating an infinite loop or crashing my project, that's great, but it is creating a bit of an error. I think this is a good opportunity to introduce a few more loop keywords that we can use as needed. We're all pretty familiar with return by now. We can use return inside of any sort of loop, which will immediately exit the entire method, not just the loop itself. And of course, we can optionally return a value if we'd like. But there's also a couple other commonly used keywords that we can actually use, like break, that just exits out of the for loop, but not actually the entire method. It'll immediately exit the loop in which it's being called, regardless of the loop's condition. So it'll immediately exit the loop itself, but if it's within inside a method, it will continue the method's logic. Another useful keyword is the word continue. It will actually skip the remaining code in the current iteration of the loop, but then proceed with the next iteration of that loop. Now, I'm not sure how many use cases we're actually going to have in this project for the keyword continue. However, it's a useful one to know. There's even a couple other keywords not really worth mentioning at the moment, but I just wanted to have that brief conversation with you about the different keywords that we can take advantage of. At the moment, let's take advantage of the word break and actually create a sort of fail-safe condition inside of our for loop. At the very top of our for loop, let's just introduce some sort of fail-safe condition. Now, there's immediately a few things that come to mind, but I think the most simple one is just checking if available lanes is ever equal to 0. So let's just start with that, and maybe we can refactor it a little bit later on. We can just say if available lanes dot count is ever less than or equal to 0, then break, and just enter out of this for loop. Now, as a reminder, typing break like that is the exact same thing as typing break like this. However, that seems to be a little bit messy to me. I think it's a little bit cleaner if we just put break here. That way, even if I is something like 100, it won't ever actually matter. As soon as it iterates that very first time that there's no more available lanes, it will just break out of this for loop. Let's go ahead and try that out one more time back in Unity. Pressing play, we see that each individual lane has exactly 3 fences spawned each and every time, and then it just exits and kicks out of that for loop. Now, you might actually think something like this is a bit unnecessary at the moment. As long as we actually use fences to spawn instead of 10 inside of our for loop, well, we should never actually hit this failsafe anyways, and it'll never actually have to break out of this for loop anyways. However, I think this will come in handy a little bit later on, and it's always good practice in programming to have these sorts of failsafe conditions, especially when we're dealing with potential infinite loops and something that might actually crash our project. But for now, I'm satisfied. Let's actually head back into Unity and just give this one more playthrough to make sure everything is set up correctly. All right, well done on this lecture. Everything seems to be working as intended so far. When you're ready to move on, I'll see you in the next one.